Good morning, I'm Sabrina Zainal, and this is Nightline, news making the headlines. Elmina plane crash, cockpit voice recorder found, no Mayday call made. And only 1 out of 10 bodies was intact. We begin with the headlining story. The Subang Air Traffic Control Tower observed smoke originating from the site of the private jet crash in Bandar Elmina, Shah Alam at around 2:51 p.m., but no Mayday call was made by the private jet. During a media conference on Thursday evening, Transport Minister Anthony Loke revealed that the private jet had veered off course before it plunged to the ground, killing everyone on board.
Daripada pengamatan awal, pesawat tersebut telah melencong ke tepi daripada flight path ke sebelah kanan daripada flight path yang sepatutnya.
Loke added that aviation authorities, police and investigators are scouring the site of the crash for the plane's black box. Earlier, the Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia, CAAM, said the private jet had initially made contact with the Subang Air Traffic Control Tower at 2:47 p.m. and landing clearance was given at 2:48 p.m., 3 minutes before the Subang Air Traffic Control Tower observed smoke originating from the crash site, despite no Mayday call being made. The private jet had departed from Langkawi International Airport at 2:08 p.m. to Sultan Abdul Aziz Shah Airport in Subang. The private jet, a Beechcraft Model 390 with the registration number N28JV, was operated by Jet Valet Sendirian Berhad. Selangor Police Chief Dato' Hussein Omar Khan later on Thursday night confirmed that the cockpit voice recorder has been recovered from the plane. He said the Air Accident Investigation Bureau has collected the device and sent it for analysis. He also said that search mission for the victims have been completed after 10 bodies and 5 body parts were recovered at the scene. Earlier, he said that the private jet was preparing to land when the pilot lost contact with the control tower 2 minutes before touchdown, and added that the aircraft was supposed to land at 2:50 p.m. and no emergency communication was relayed by the pilot prior to crash.
Dalam proses untuk landing, 2 minit lagi untuk landing, telah hilang kawalan daripada tower dan terhempas di jalan raya, dan di jalan atas jalan raya dia telah langgar satu motosikal dan 1 kereta. Dan setakat ini kita percaya semua mangsa yang terlibat telah meninggal dunia.
Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein meanwhile revealed that one of the bodies was intact, which was the motorcyclist, and the police are currently contacting the victim's next of kin. The remaining 5, however, were beyond recognition.
Pihak Datuk KP juga telah menyediakan next of kin punya tempat untuk mengambil swab DNA di Balai IPD Kelang Selatan.
Balai Polis Kelang di IPD.
Yes, Balai Polis Kelang di IPD Kelang Selatan. So kita pun
Tan Sri Razaruddin added that all the remains would be taken to Tengku Ampuan Rahimah Hospital in Klang for the post-mortem. As for the identity of the car driver, he said the police have identified the driver as an e-hailing driver and are currently investigating if the driver was alone or with a passenger. He added that more than 1 acre of the area around the crash site was cordoned off to retrieve the remaining bodies from the crash site area, and the search and recover mission will be conducted around the clock. In Klang, 10 forensic personnel are involved in performing autopsies on the victims of the air crash. According to Tengku Ampuan Rahimah Hospital Director Dr. Zulkarnain Muhammad Rawi, 4 of the forensic officers were the hospital staff, while the rest were from nearby hospitals. He said the post-mortem involves pathologists, medical officers and healthcare assistants. Staff and security guards of the hospital were also seen making preliminary preparations for the post-mortem. Several small tents were also seen being set up in the parking area nearby. In the meantime, the Transport Ministry has disclosed the identities of the victims involved in the flight that crashed in Elmina, Shah Alam on Thursday, thus confirming that among them was Datuk Sri Johari Harun, who is a first-term state assemblyman for Pelangai in Pahang. The 53-year-old Datuk Sri Johari was also a Pahang Exco member and Bentong UMNO chief. Other passengers were Khairil Azwan Jamaluddin, Shahrul Amir Omar, Muhammad Naim Fawaz Muhammad Muaidi, Muhammad Taufik Muhammad Zaki, and Idris Abdul Talib alias Ramali. The crew members were Shahrul Kamal Roslan and Haikal Aras Abdul Azim. The identities of 2 road users who were hit when the plane crashed onto the highway have yet to be ascertained. Meanwhile, the crew and passengers on board the aircraft that crashed in Elmina, Shah Alam allegedly took a final photograph on board before departing on the ill-fated flight. A picture has emerged of 4 people seated in an aircraft with Datuk Sri Johari seen to be seated on the left. All those in the photograph were seen to be in good spirits at the time the picture was taken. Meanwhile, a resident who lives in the Elmina area was shocked to hear a loud explosion which prompted him to head to the crash scene.
Bunyi kapal terbang tak ada, tapi dengan bunyi letupan. Itu sebab saya kerja dari rumah. Jadi kita duduk dalam bilik. Anak cakap ada kapal terbang jatuh. Itu yang kita terkejut. Bunyi kapal terbang tak ada. Biasa kita duduk kat sini memang dengar bunyi kapal terbang. Kan paling kurang pun bunyi propeller kan. Tapi kali ni tak dengar bunyi. Dengar bunyi boom. Dah. Jadi kita ingat aksiden di Gatri. Selalu Gatri lah aksiden banyak kereta laju. Jadi lepas tu selang setengah jam tu anak dapat mesej kawan-kawan. Tahu lah kawan-kawan dia kan mesti ada bagi mesej. Kata ada kapal terbang jatuh. Itu yang saya datang.
The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Ri Ayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah visited the scene of the crash. The king arrived at 5:40 p.m. He was briefed on the incident by Selangor Police Chief Datuk Hussein Omar Khan. Al-Sultan Abdullah also extended his sympathies and engaged in conversations with the victims' families. In the meantime, the Prime Minister has extended his condolences to the families of the victims of the crash. In his social media post, Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim also prayed for them to persevere in the face of this difficult time.
This week on Money Matters, we'll talk about the key elements of a successful economy, how to position itself as one of the 30 economic powerhouses by setting the right tone towards building a better Malaysia. Join us with Khazanah National's Managing Director, Dato' Amirul Faisal Wan Zahir, this Saturday, 5 p.m. on TV3 and live HD stream on Tonton.
Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim wants the practice of soliciting and giving commissions in the implementation of any development projects, including housing, to be stopped immediately. He said the government had never prevented any company from conducting its operations and earning profits, and the practice of giving commissions to any minister or political party for that purpose should not continue to persist.
Jadi kita pastikan ada keuntungan, tak ada masalah. Tapi janganlah potongan 10 juta, 50 juta kepada Pak Menteri atau kepada parti seperti amalan sebelum ini. Ini yang merosakkan. Dan saya faham ramai yang marah saya ni, ya. Ramai betul yang marah ni. Nanti kita menyinggung hal ni. Tapi semua orang tahu, tanyalah developer di wilayah persekutuan. Am I right or I am wrong? Am I exaggerating or I am telling the truth?
He said this when launching the Residency Wilayah, Residency Prihatin Madani and Madani Hawker Center groundbreaking ceremony at Desa Tasik Sungai Besi in the federal capital on Thursday. The Prime Minister added that it is better for the commission allocation to be returned to the people by implementing more balanced development projects, including housing for lower income groups or more organized markets and hawker centers. On politics, the Prime Minister brushed off Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin's call for him to step down following the outcome of the 6 state elections last Saturday. Datuk Sri Anwar told the Perikatan Nasional Chairman and Bersatu President to focus on his court case instead of making such suggestions.
Kita kekal kemenangan 3, kita masih dapat 2/3 majoriti ahli parlimen. Dia buat fikiran apa? Saya nasihatkan dia tumpu kes mahkamah.
Previously, Tan Sri Muhyiddin said that PN had won 146 of the 245 state seats, or 60% of the seats. On the other hand, UMNO lost about 82% of the seats it contested, which he said shows its irrelevance. PN had made a clean sweep in Terengganu and nearly did the same in Kelantan and Kedah. Meanwhile, Pakatan Harapan Barisan Nasional retained Selangor, Pulau Pinang and Negeri Sembilan. When we return, over $700 million worth of assets seized. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now, this just in, the Health Ministry said it will ensure family members of the Elmina plane crash victims receive proper assistance, including the process of identifying the remains. Its Minister, Dr. Zaliha Mustafa, speaking to the media at the Tengku Ampuan Rahimah Klang Hospital, said her team would make certain that the process could be completed without delay.
Kami di sini bersedia untuk menerima jenazah ataupun bodies dan kita juga menunggu dari lokasi berita yang terkini.
Dr. Zaliha noted that there are approximately 20 to 30 individuals of her team on standby to assist families affected for counseling and emotional support. On to the foreign front, Singapore authorities have charged 10 foreign nationals in court on Wednesday for alleged money laundering and forgery offences in a case involving about $737 million of cash, properties, luxury cars and other assets. The foreigners were aged between 31 and 44 and their nationalities include Chinese, Turkish, Cypriot, Cambodian and Vanuatu. It is reported that the group was suspected to be involved in laundering the proceeds of crime from their overseas organized crime activities, including scams and online gambling. Authorities added that another 12 people were assisting with investigations, while 8 others are currently on its wanted list. Simultaneous raids were done across the island state on Tuesday, and prohibition of disposal orders were issued against 94 properties and 50 vehicles, with a total estimated value of more than $599 million. Raids of this size are rare in Singapore, which has one of the lowest crime rates in the world. South Korea's antitrust regulator said it would impose a total of $25.06 million in fines on 3 domestic mobile carriers for exaggerating their 5G network speeds. According to the Korea Fair Trade Commission, KFTC, the 3 South Korean telco firms, including SK Telecom Company Limited, KT Corp, and LG U+ Corp, had exaggerated their 5G network speeds and unfairly advertised that they were the fastest relative to their competitors. The Commission added that it hopes this measure will serve as an opportunity for the 3 companies to step away from overheated competition using unfair advertisements. It was believed that the size of the penalty for each company would be different and that the amounts would be made public soon. South Korea has about 30.76 million 5G network users in June, accounting for about 38% of the total 80.23 million mobile subscriptions. Paramilitary troops have cordoned off a Christian settlement in eastern Pakistan on Thursday after hundreds of Muslim men rampaged through its streets, burning and ransacking churches and homes over accusations of blasphemy a day earlier. The attack took place in Jaranwala in the industrial district of Faisalabad after allegations spread that Christians had desecrated the Holy Quran, forcing families to flee their homes. It was understood that the rioters were demanding that the 2 accused, who had fled their homes, be handed over to them. According to officials, over 100 people suspected of being involved in the rioting have been arrested, and an inquiry has also been ordered into the incident. Blasphemy is punishable by death in Pakistan, and although no one has ever been executed for it, many accused people have been lynched by outraged crowds. Residents of one of the largest cities in Canada's far north were ordered to flee amid warnings that raging wildfires could reach it by the weekend. The crisis in the town of Yellowknife is the newest chapter of a terrible summer for wildfires in Canada, as flames spread quickly across the country, forcing tens of thousands of people to evacuate and charring vast swaths of land. According to the Northwest Territories Environment Minister, Shane Thompson, the 20,000 residents of Yellowknife have been given until Friday to leave. As of Thursday, the 163,000-hectare wildfire is currently 17 kilometers from Yellowknife and would likely reach Highway 3, the only highway connecting the city to the rest of Canada. Canada is enduring its worst wildfire season, with more than 1,000 active fires burning across the country, including 230 in the Northwest Territories.
Money Matters.
Money Matters is going to be back after the break.
Don't go away, because Money Matters will be back shortly.
For the past half an hour, you've been with us on Money Matters.
I'm Zahir Kelvin Ong Abdullah, and this is Money Matters.
Money Matters with Zahir Kelvin Ong Abdullah, Azaria Tagaya, Muhammad Ahmad Hamdan, and Anita Wu, Saturdays at 5 p.m. only on TV3.
Sports tennis, the 2023 Cincinnati Open. Stanislas Wawrinka powered past home favorite Frances Tiafoe to seal a spot in the last 16. Playing in his first tournament since a resurgent final run in Umag, Wawrinka dominated from the baseline and a 6-3, 6-4 victory against the 10th-seeded American, wrapping up the emphatic upset in 1 hour, 18 minutes. Wawrinka will next face Australian wildcard Max Purcell on Thursday. Joining him was Novak Djokovic. The former world number one won a 6-4 opening set against Alejandro Davidovich Fokina before the Spaniard retired in the first game of the second set. Davidovich Fokina left the court for a medical timeout late in the first set to deal with a back problem, then retired early in the second due to the injury with 46 minutes on the match clock. Djokovic, who won the Cincinnati Trophy in 2018 and in 2020, will next meet Gael Monfils on Thursday. Also in the last 16 was Stefanos Tsitsipas of Greece. He needed 2 tiebreakers to defeat American Ben Shelton 7-6, 7-6. The 4th-seeded will next face the winner between Poland's Hubert Hurkacz and Croatia's Borna Coric. Earlier, Dusan Lajovic of Serbia stunned 8th-seeded Jannik Sinner in straight sets 6-4, 7-6 to book a spot in the last 16. Lajovic, ranked 66 in the world, will next face American Taylor Fritz for a place in the quarterfinals. In the women's event, top seed Iga Swiatek produced a devastating display to convincingly defeat Danielle Collins of the United States in their second-round clash. The Polish was at her best as she secured a convincing 6-1, 6-love win and a spot in the last 16, where Zheng Qinwen of China awaits her. Accompanying her was Coco Gauff. The 7th seed rolled to a 6-2, 6-2 win to reach the round of 16 for the first time. For just the 4th time in her career, Gauff will face a player younger than her in the next round in the form of Czech Linda Noskova, who upset her 9th-seeded compatriot Petra Kvitova in 3 sets to advance to the 3rd round.
6-2.
More to come. MACC urges wanted pair to come back home. Don't go away. Thanks for staying with us. MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azambaki has urged former Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin's son-in-law and the company director being sought by the graft buster to stop making excuses and just return to Malaysia. The graft buster had previously released a statement saying that both individuals are wanted to assist in investigations, but they failed to appear at MACC office as both were found to have left the country. Datuk Sri Muhammad Adlan Burhan, who is Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin's son-in-law, and Mansur Saad, a lawyer, are wanted by the MACC to assist in their investigations into the misappropriation of millions of ringgit in funds related to the registration, recruitment and biometric storage of data of foreign workers for a ministry. Checks revealed that Datuk Sri Adlan and Mansur left Malaysia on May 17th and May 21st respectively, and there has been no record of their return to the country. Earlier, Mansur denied that he is on the run to escape prosecution, as he said the MACC is aware of his whereabouts and he had assured them previously of his commitment to return upon finishing his business matters. Mansur said he would only return to Malaysia as long as he is not being persecuted. Last week, Datuk Sri Adlan also denied claims that he is not cooperating with investigations and said he was never arrested nor called by the MACC for a meeting or to assist any investigation before he left the country lawfully. The Selangor Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC has remanded 2 men on suspicion of accepting a total of 100,000 ringgit in bribes for the purpose of obtaining letters of guarantee for the entry of foreigners into Malaysia. It was reported that the letters of guarantee were used for foreigners to enter the country to work as seafarers when in fact they were not employed for such jobs. Magistrate Nur Faiza Abdul Sani issued a 4-day remand order until August 20th for the 2 men after the MACC made an application at the Shah Alam Magistrates Court on Thursday morning. The first suspect is a law enforcement officer in his 30s, while the second suspect is a business owner in his 40s who was believed to have committed the offence from September to December 2022. The duo were arrested at about 1 p.m. on Wednesday at the Selangor MACC and Pahang MACC offices when they were asked to be present to give their statements. Selangor MACC Director Dato' Alias Salim, when contacted, confirmed the arrest and said the case was investigated under Section 17(a) and 17(b) of the MACC Act. In the meantime, a consultant has been appointed by the Sri Desa Entrepreneurs Park Management Corporation to assess the safety of the building after a beam at Block A of the 4-block commercial centre collapsed and crushed several parked cars on Tuesday. According to Kuala Lumpur Police Chief Dato' Alauddin Abdul Majid, the investigation and safety report will likely take 2 weeks to complete.
Kita berserah pada pihak MC dan konsultan untuk jalankan tugas mereka dan insyaAllah dalam paling tidak dalam 2 minggu kita akan dapat satu laporan and then we take it from there, we decide from there. Yeah. We can't decide anything now.
Dato' Alauddin said a total of 45 office units and 9 shop lots were affected in the incident, and the area will be cordoned off as a disaster area, while police will be on duty at the site daily. He added that police have only received reports from 7 car owners so far, urging the remaining 3 car owners to make the reports. In the meantime, Kuala Lumpur Mayor Datuk Kamarul Zaman Mat Saleh said letters would be issued to the other 3 blocks of Sri Desa Entrepreneurs Park to assess the safety of the other buildings. That concludes Nightline this time around. Following the devastating news on the plane crash in Elmina, Shah Alam on Thursday, the Nightline team would like to express our deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. I'm Sabrina Zainal. Thank you for watching and take care.